Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. What's up? Y'all know what it is. It's your boy Rad, CEO Beyond Bars Music Group, Eastside TV, CTM Records, the whole conglomerate. How everybody feeling today? I'm feeling good. How y'all doing out there today? How is everybody feeling today? Yeah. You think going? This just in. This is my holiday day. Henry, what's up, bro? I don't go in today, so I get to get on the computer, and I ain't been on here in a while. Want to say what's up to my Facebook fans, family, friends, foes, twinkle toes, and those who powder their nose. No judgment here, 'cause I've been where you at, and I'm at where you been. All we got to do is live life and let life live within. You know what I'm saying? Them bars is for free, baby. Anyway, man, I'm on here. I want to welcome y'all into Real Reels with Rev Rad. I'm gonna drop the Rev because I'm not the one reverent one. That's only our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. So I'm just Rad. So this is Real Reels with Rad, brought to you by Beyond Bars Music Group. We're in the studio, aka the living room. I got a little bit of laundry, y'all, just a little bit. I usually have a lot of loads, but I actually did what I'm supposed to do and get her done. And I got her done. So anyway, excuse my microphone if it's in the way. I don't know any other placement to put it. I really like talking on my microphone. Pause. But it just gives a different aesthetic. See, when you listen to a podcast, most people have the Shure SM7B, which is a dynamic microphone. Both what it's called, and what it is. Excuse me. It is a dynamic microphone, and the microphone is dynamic. Anyway, I got an Audio Technica, and this is the Thunderstick. The AT2020 is a heavy competitor. But anyway, outside all that, I came on here because today is Memorial Day, and I don't know why my mic sound like this. Something's going on. Forgive me, y'all. When I listen to myself, sometimes I can hear technical difficulties, and you guys can't. I hear this weird buzzing every time I say something that has to do with my compressor or something. Anyway, today is first of all, I want to say happy birthday to Donovan Johnson. His 22nd birthday today. Happy birthday, Donovan. And that's my wife's oldest boy. Jeez. And we just want to say happy birthday to Donovan. Wish him the best. Wish him well. Hope all is well. Right now, he's kicking it with his baby brother. Hey, BB, aka Adric, Astro Adric. Y'all get ready for Adric's. Adric has a YouTube channel coming out. It's gonna be Astro Adric. He's gonna be showing you guys My Singing Monsters and his Universe Sandbox games. Plays them all the time. He loves Roblox too. He's a beast in Roblox. What is it, Brain Rot or whatever? I don't like that game at all. Anyway, right now I'm having a Mexican pop. Got bad nerves. The only thing that settles that is Mexican pop. I used to like Mexican Coca-Cola a lot, but that never solved any problems. But anyway, back to what I was saying. Today is Memorial Day. And it's so funny because Memorial Day isn't what we think it is. I don't know why my camera looks like that. I always thought Memorial Day had to do with like the military, like United States military. And lo and behold, no. Memorial Day came after the Civil War, when I think it was in Virginia. If I'm not mistaken, it's either Virginia, Delaware. Might be it's in the DMV area, if I'm not mistaken. Could be South Carolina. But anyway, after the Civil War, I think forget the numbers, forget the accuracy. I'm just going to tell you the story I heard. That some women that were black slave women, African American women, went and collected the bodies of the dead Buffalo soldiers, all the soldiers of melanated skin, the African American slaves that fought in the Civil War that they tell us happened, which was really just a fight for Florida because they couldn't defeat the Seminole Indians, which was a bunch of brothers in Gull Islands in South Carolina, which was just a bunch of black people. They wasn't never slaves. They were here when they came over here. But anyway, they went back and collected all these bodies and they buried who they could and what they could of who they found on these battlefields because some were lost, and these became memorials. It became a day of a Memorial Day to the fallen African American soldiers that were never going to be named or claimed. And years passed, and we adopted it as another holiday that we barbecue, which gets us to go to the store to buy pop and pork and beef, to go buy death, to celebrate the death of some soldiers that were sent to die that are getting celebrated for the wrong reasons because we were told one thing, but we know it's for another thing. I'm not diminishing anybody that served in the military, so please don't get that misconstrued. Let me say that it has nothing to do with the people. I'm talking about the mindset of the conspiracy of the thought process that we've been told, conditioned, and been led to believe. I pray that I don't get banned on Facebook or YouTube because I'm just talking, because this is Real Reels with Rad. I gotta get that under wraps. But anyway, that's the story I heard, that these soldiers would have never been buried, recognized, or remembered. And then the Memorial Day came, and here we are. Also, on a side note, how y'all like my new lighting? I had to switch my lighting up. You can't see my face. Let me get my mic out of my face so much. Maybe I turn my gain up. Well, I probably sound good anyway. I just think I need to be in it like this. See my camera? See my cameraman? Excuse me, that was gross. I apologize. Freaking Mexican pops make me burp. Anyway, that's that. Hold on, I got a kid coming. All right. Anyway, it's cool. One of my kids usually. Hold on a second, y'all. All right, sorry, y'all. What up, Ty? Anyway, I got my boy in the back. Say what's up, Uriah. I'm live. Facebook, Twitch, YouTube. That right there, that's gonna be the the 27th pick in the second round of the Major League baseball Major League draft pick 2033 out of Clemson University, shortstop, center field catcher, Uriah Bbmg. You heard it here first on Real Reels with Rad. My son gonna be a Major League Baseball player. But um, I was saying what I was saying is that we've been told one thing, but it's about another. Everything I believe, everything that we've been told, we got to believe the opposite. But see, here on the Real Reels, I'll talk about whatever I want to talk about. I talk real stuff. I think I'm on this today is I don't know. I guess I'm just talking, but I really want to start telling my story on here. I really want to start telling people who I really am. I'm kind of not afraid, but I got so much that I can tell and so many things that I've done that it's just kind of like I don't care how people look at me, but it'll make a lot of people that know me or think they know me like, dang, I didn't know that was bro. I didn't know that was you. Like, not that they would think worse of me. Some probably would, but some would. Some would kind of feel like they need to have pity for me, or they sound like they want to. Um, you're either gonna have pity for me, or you're going to not trust me, or you're going to be leery of me, or you're gonna be proud of me, or I'm gonna inspire you, all at the same time. Because my story is gonna make you laugh, cry. I'm talking about you'll probably laugh more than you'll cry, but when you do cry, it's gonna be from your heart. It's gonna be real because I had a lot of experiences in a short amount of time, and when I do get where I'm going, it's gonna be like three different parts because from like I always tell people the stages of my life from birth to early childhood, and from early childhood through teenage, young adult life, and from young adult life to full grown adult life to where I am now is there's a lot of tragedy, there's a lot of heartache, a lot of pain. There's so much good in it, but the amount of tragedy and the types of tragedies overshadow all the good, and it's amazing. I feel honestly thinking about it now, I feel how blessed I truly am because it's like my life is like I was shot with a bazooka, blown up with a grenade, shot with a 50 caliber, drowned in a boat, and blown up in a helicopter, and crashed in an airplane, and walked away with a broken finger. And that's just like a synopsis of it. But uh, yeah, I can't see your name is Slate Slayers Slabs. I don't I see SLA. I can't see because I need glasses and my screen is kind of small. But as somebody on Twitch, whoever you are on Twitch, man, I really appreciate it because I don't have my Twitch app up and I'm using something right now that I don't know how to get to the message, but I can message you. Anyway, I have a lot of stories to tell because I know a lot of people like where I'm from. They got stories too. I'm not negating anybody. I'm not the only person that suffered. I'm not the only person that's made it through. I'm not the only person that's been addicted and strung out and fucked all the way up to where, you know what I'm saying, nobody gave two shits about them that, and then they came back and redeemed themselves. I'm not saying that, but me, myself, I'm just telling you the hell that I've been through in the heaven that I'm living in now. Well, sort of, or whatever, compared to before. And I'm in the heavens of heavens. You know what I'm saying? I'm right next to Jesus the way I'm feeling because I was sitting on the devil's lap for a long time. But anyway, it's hard for me to tell some of my stories and talk about some of my stuff because, bro, I mess around and be implicating people in it. Like been around people and I've been in situations that I probably need to talk to a lawyer before a lawyer or a priest or something before I tell my stories. Uh, so don't nobody end up getting locked up for statute of limitations. I don't know because I could almost guarantee I probably done something that I didn't know that had a lifetime of uh, punishability. You know, it ain't over after because it's 25, 30 years old. So that's what makes me reluctant. Yeah, bro, I ain't gotta say names. People, the town I'm from is so small. I ain't gotta say names. I can just describe situations. They can put two and two together and get 12. Um, it's funny because I mean some of the stuff I'm going to talk about now. You know, being from where I'm from, small town Ohio. Um, I grew up a lot. I grew up around a lot. It's weird. I grew up in a Christian home. My grandma, my mom, my dad. I went to church all the time. I went to church 3, 4 times a week, all day long. But I always, it's weird. I've always, ever since I was a little kid, I've always been drawn into criminality. I've always been in trouble. I've always been a little liar. I've always been a little thief. I've always been a little horny dog. I've always been a little spitting. I've always been a little I'll break your window. I've always had a bad attitude and I've always been really bad. And I've also always been really good. I would go to church all day and I was a church boy. I didn't get in trouble. I didn't smoke cigarettes for a while. But then again, I used to smoke notebook paper and leaves, and I would try to drink beer that people drink. I mean, I've done the good and the bad all at the same time. But in this little small town that I grew up in, man, there's been the city I'm from, there's been a lot of felony ones around me. Put it that way. I've been around a lot of felony ones from as far as I can remember, and I can remember my kindergarten. I can remember something about my kindergarten teacher that a kindergarten kid shouldn't remember. I remember what I'm just gonna say it. I remember what her freaking bra looked like. One day she wore a dress, she bent over, I seen her bra, and at 49 years old, I could close my eyes and tell you exactly what her bra looked like. Weird. I remember weird stuff like that. I can remember the way things smell from when I was 7, 8 years old. I don't know why. I have this weird. It's like I remember bad things, traumatic things, or what people say to me. If you said something to me a long time ago and it hurt my feelings in a certain way, I remember that. And I don't know why. But anyway, let's just say from the age of 8, I think I'm gonna tell a couple stories today, y'all. I'm gonna tell a couple stories. I'm just gonna get some broad stories. I'm not gonna give no details. I'll probably give the amount of time that somebody, I'll just give some descriptions. So the earliest felony that I was around, I was probably 8. And I'll never forget it. Situation happened with some people that I know, couple guys, female, couple females. Remember I was 8. Shoot, let me see. Yeah, I was probably 8, 7, 8, going on 8, 8 going on 9. What up, Randy? 8 going on 9. Uh, I seen a, I mean, they got in trouble. The people, I mean, they were kids. Everybody was kids, but it was something that happened, and it wasn't odd to me. It wasn't like a crime. It wasn't like it was. I mean, it was violence, and it was wrong in a way. Like I didn't look at it as being wrong. I knew later in life that it was wrong. I knew when they got in trouble that it was wrong. But at 8, I didn't conceive it as being wrong because the movies that I watched, one of the most movies that I watched a lot, Scarface, Warriors, um, all the black gangster movies, the Mac, Dolomite movies, all these karate movies. So physical altercations, fights. My older brothers, they are fought all the time. I grew up in, what I'm saying. Everybody said, "Oh, I'm a '90s baby." I'm an '80s baby. I was born in 1976, so I grew up in the 80s. You got to claim the year that you grew up in, the year that you cut your teeth. And I cut my teeth in the 80s at a young age, born in 76. And I guarantee you, 76, so 82, I was 6. In kindergarten, first grade, I was harassed by Sydney Police Department almost daily in the summer. 7 years old. I know how to cuss the police. I know. If I thought I'd throw the finger, I know how to tell them, you know what I'm saying? All that. Learning from my cousins. I grew up where I grew up with so many cousins and brothers. You know what I'm saying? All together it was like 15 of us, and we're all first cousins, brothers, and sisters. You know what I'm saying? My whole family, bro. Outside of my other part of my whole family, grew up on two corners, on the same block. 1, 2, 3, 4 houses. 4 houses, 15 kids. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Like 17. 17 of us. 17 of us lived on one block. First cousins. Grandma, grandpa, aunts, uncles, same spot. So I had no choice but to do what everybody else was doing. I had a choice, but I didn't want to make no choice. I'm doing what everybody else is doing. Y'all riding bikes, I'm riding bikes. Y'all fighting, I'm fighting. I'm the littlest one. I'm the youngest. Remember, I'm the youngest. Like, I'm real young. So all y'all out there gangster and y'all tough and y'all, bro, I jumped off the porch. I don't know. I don't think I ever been on the porch. I'm not bragging. I'm not being funny. I'm not being cute. Not being gangster and none of that. I'm just being for real. So anyway, the police used to harass us. We outside playing. They'd make us sit down on the curb and try to pat us down, talking crazy to my older cousins and all this stuff. And, you know, everybody getting into it at a young age. So 8 years old, see a serious situation go on, don't think nothing of it. It ain't nothing. Wake up. All the people that was in it, they go to jail. They go to jail. I don't know how long they go into jail, but they go into jail for a long time. And they come home and they don't even look the same. They look different. So I'm like, man, I want to go to jail too, because you come home looking like that. And I thought if you go to jail, you just get muscle. Like, you go to jail. Yeah, bro. Yes. We'll get to that. So as a kid, I'm thinking you go to DYS, and then I watched the movie Bad Boys with Sean Penn, and you know, you learn to fight. It's like it just happens. So that was something I thought was cool. That's something I wanted to be. You know, I was mad because the people that did what they did and got in trouble the way they did, I knew them like that. I wanted to be in trouble too. I wanted to be like that. I wanted people to know that that was me. So anyway, that's 8. That next year is the first year I started doing stuff I shouldn't be doing at 9 years old. Shout out to to my cousin that introduced me to her friend. But I told my wife one time, like, you know, when my boys were younger, they were in elementary school, and we was talking about, you know, people talk about the birds and the bees. Yeah, I have a YouTube channel. Yep. I'm on YouTube right now. It'd be so cool if you go subscribe. I'll subscribe back to you. Um, but we were talking about, you know, people talk about the birds and the bees and sex and stuff with their kids. I didn't have that opportunity. My cousins, my brothers taught me about that. Benny Hill. I learned actually it's crazy, the first corn I've ever seen, or the first uh 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 intimate visual that I've ever seen, other than walking in on my aunt butt naked on accident, which was traumatic and awesome all at the same time, because I was like a kid, like, you know, seeing a woman with no bra, and it didn't matter who it was other than your mom, for real. Was watching this cartoon called Heavy Metal. And I'll never forget some dude he was like a nerd on Earth, or he was like a geek. People used to pick on him, and something happened, and he like a meteor hit, and he turned into a superhero. Then he was in space, and he went to another planet, and he met a green girl, and they did what people people do when they're adults. And to me, it was like, oh my God, I want to do that too, because it was like a song playing. It was like, anybody as old as me know that movie, that cartoon from the 80s. It's called Heavy Metal. You can look it up. I'm pretty sure it's called Heavy Metal. But it was like a cartoon. It was like a bunch of different cartoons at once. It wasn't just one whole cartoon. It's kind of like I don't know, but just know it's called Heavy Metal. And then, we had a TV. My mom and dad worked. They both worked. They tried to. We weren't poor. They was broke. They would spend more money to get us stuff, like I do with my kids now. Spend more money than they have, so that the kids have something. We had TV upstairs. We had TV downstairs. We had the cable. So on TBS back in the day, Benny Hill used to come on, but we had the old school Scientific Atlantic um, uh, cable, and it was on a box. You had to turn the knob, and when you turned the knob, you could hear it clicking. And me and my cousins would come stay all night. You know what I'm saying? My mom and dad it'd be 12 of us, 10, 12. All my cousins on the street would just come, and we'd all just be up all night. And we used to play a game so you can stay up all night, because you fall asleep, you getting hot sauce, ketchup, slapped in the head. You might get your balls. They might take clothespins and put them on your testicles while you sleep. I mean, you don't ever know what's going to happen, or your nipples or something, or your earlobes or your nose. Somebody might even freaking fart in your face, fart in your mouth, which, we would do stuff like that. So anyway, you don't ever know what's going to happen, or your nipples. So when we're watching TV at night, late at night, Benny Hill would come on. And Benny Hill was everything of short of completely nude women. Like a girl would drop her top and grab her chest all at the same time, or you would see her butt cheeks. She'd walk out of the shower and her towel would drop, and it was this old man. He was always gawking. He was like 80 years old, and he would be in a nursing home in the candy stripe. That's when I learned what a candy stripe nurse is. They come in and give him a bath, and he'd perk up. He'd be half dead, and the girl would be, she'd have her chest in his face, and then his heart monitor would go off. And then Benny would always sing a song. It was a comedy show. If you know, give me a thumbs up if you ever seen Benny Hill. But it was like Saturday Night Live in London with naked girls. It was a skit comedy. That's what it was, skit comedy. So anyway, talk about me and my wife having a conversation. I was a kid. I was 9 years old. That's the first time I ever seen all that stuff. And we'd all, us being boys, we'd always talk about who got who this and who that, who got what, blah, blah, blah. Everybody's done it. So parents, I'm telling you out there, when all your boys are all staying together, you better believe that it's some stuff that's going on that if you found out, you would probably beat your child. You'd want to whoop them. But that's what boys do. Just like in the weight room, everybody want to push, see who can push the most weights. And when you're young, it's whatever. It is what it is. Maybe some of my cousins or friends, think I'm crazy for talking about that. But anyway, so I was like 9 years old, thinking I was doing something. So that popped off at 9. And my wife, she couldn't believe it. It's like she was kind of disgusted in me. I think it kind of made her feel a certain type of way. Not that it's like, whoa, you really was doing that at 9? Like, made it think like, what are my boys gonna be doing, or how did that happen? And everybody always like think I'm lying, but I was 11 years old when when the rocket actually orbited the moon, per se. But that's very young. To be 11 years old and to say you can consider yourself a man now. And I'll never forget, like, walking down the street feeling crazy, like what they call post nut clarity. Put my cousin Slay baby, what's up? Uh, I was walking down the street and my grandma. Sorry, y'all, I'm reading somebody's name. My grandma was standing outside on her porch. And I didn't know why. And I was kind of in between, reality and fantasy. I'm still tripping. Like, I don't know what just happened down the road. Like, I was only a block away from my house, so I'm walking and I'm feeling funny because what I just did just changed my whole world and took everything out of me, literally. And my grandma said something, and it was like, womp, 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 womp. And she grabbed me and took me in the house. And my grandma she was from Mississippi, and she had this weapon in her house called a Mississippi switch. It was 3 switches braided with leaves on the top. And she used to whoop us like Hebrew slaves, man. She would put us on our knees and make us pull our pants down, not our underwear, but pull our pants down and pull our shirt up. And she would whoop us from our shoulders to the back of our kneecaps. And it's called fapping. Fap, 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 fap. You get about 10, 11, 12 faps. And she would take the leaves and dip them in water and get them wet. Dead serious, man. Man, my grandma whooped my butt. My mom, them, I think they was at the store. They might even been at church. They probably was at the store. She was so mad. She was hurt. She was disgusted. She was hurt. She couldn't believe it. Of course, she went into the word. She prayed for me while I was crying. And then my mom and dad came home. Boy, it wasn't no good. Boy, it wasn't no good. I got a whooping from both of them. My dad gave me a fake whooping. He was mad and happy at the same time. Every man is going to be mad and happy because you did what you're supposed to do as a boy, but you're too young to be doing that. So he let my mom beat the bread. My mom beat me and took a breath and beat me again. I'm not playing. She did. But anyway, I was 11 and that was normal. And it was cool. Even though I got grounded, even though I got beat. I never put my hand. I didn't get in the touch of myself until a couple years later. That's gonna be for another day. I'm getting a little too far off the track. I done went all the way in too fast. I ain't even told y'all about what happened from 9 to 10, because when I was 10, one of the worst traumatic things that ever happened to me when I was 10. That's so I got the consequences of what happened. What I did was a catalyst of suicidal ideations for me. That's what pushed me to want to jump off a bridge when I was a kid. So that's another part of the story of the mental stuff I had to fight as a kid nobody knew about, because what was being done and what we did, everything was normal. Getting the mess beat out of you, getting whooped with leather, extension cords, paddles, pans, pots, bricks, bottles. Excuse me. People around my age, that's why we don't care about a lot of stuff. My generation, you get a whooping. I was a kid, whatever was handy. Shoot, parents would use another kid to whoop you. But it was kind of like the part of me going to church and knowing God stopped me from finding that bridge and jumping. And plus, I was too afraid that if it didn't work, and I just fell and broke my leg, my mom gonna beat me because I had to go to the hospital. And growing up, you break your leg, you get a whoop for breaking your leg. So those thoughts just became thoughts, and they were fantasies. And then I used to use those fantasies to go to sleep. So that started carving out a real dark side of me, a little dark corner, like using the pain to become a comfort. Even thinking about it now, I think about how jacked up that is, how jacked up I was. But I was just a kid. That's an 11-year-old kid. Think about that. Think about your 11-year-old kid right now. Yeah. Now the type of people tell you, I'm so sad. I want to kill myself. I want to, yeah. Them they be like, well, do it then. That's how ignorant some of the folks that I knew was. But I haven't lost my train of thought. All this come from the Memorial Day and the other days that we celebrate and take account for and pay homage to people for and the things that we say is right, what's real when they really ain't. And it's the same as growing up in a family and around family and being introduced to things that aren't they're real, but they're not real good for you. You know, there's people in other cities that grow up in gangs. Your daddy, your uncle, your grandpa, everybody around you's in the gang. So you got no choice but to be in the gang. You have a choice, but you don't want to make the choice. Like I didn't want to make the choice. I had good examples growing up. I had great cousins. I had good uncles. I had people that didn't consume alcohol. But it's just something about the high that you get off of getting in trouble. And it's crazy because they don't tell you about the lows after you get out of trouble. They don't tell you when you're 49 years old or 55 years old or 60 years old, you still struggling mentally to even keep it real with yourself, to even look at yourself in the mirror, to even tell yourself you worth it or you okay because you still want to make up or replace or heal or better yesteryear. But you didn't had to man up and buck up so much that feeling and having feelings is an odd feeling. And then when you say you don't give a fuck, somebody tell like, oh, bro, you shouldn't talk like that, man. Fuck you. Fuck you. That's how you feel sometimes. But, well, I feel like that. I ain't going to say you because I don't know you. I know me. And that's how I feel right now. Fuck you. But I'm allowed to feel like that, I guess. What keeps me going is these freaking baseball games, these freaking football games, these freaking basketball games. I know they're going to come to a close at some point, but I'm going to ride them out the best I can while I can because that's all I got right now. And I'm knowing now that you got to do what you got to do with what you got while you got it when you're able to get it. Because when you can't, regret is a regret. I don't know who made that word up or who put that in our doggone psyche, but some things I wish I could forget. That's the curse of remembrance. That's the curse of having a crazier memory. Because I remember all the things that hurt easier, longer, more vividly, and better than the things that didn't. And that's where I'm at in my life, trying to find the good and the bad, find the lesson in the tragedy, finding hope in the despair, even if it wasn't there. Like, there's a chapter in my book. Probably gonna start it. I was talking smack last night and I need to get it started. Maybe I'll do my audiobook and submit it to a lawyer and then have a lawyer tell me what I need to do and then take the audiobook to somebody that can help me better direct it or whatever. But anyway, there's a chunk of it in there about a 14-year-old. I mean, a 14-year incarceration period of my life. Not in prison, but I was in prison for 14 years. One of the worst states that a human could be in. And I survived it. Never really looked at it like that. But it's probably the hardest thing that I've lived through to this point in my life. Guaranteed. It's probably the hardest thing any human could ever live through. It's probably the hardest thing um, to ever have been part of. Like seriously, it was crazy. A lot of it I forgot. I don't think I forgot, but I think it's one of those things where it's burnt in my brain, but it's so black I choose not to look at it, or I don't want to wipe the dirt off of it to rehash it. But if I was to lay on the couch and tell somebody about it, they could get it out. And that's really what I want to do. I want to get out what's in, because what's in is, it has to get out. It's gonna help. It'll help somebody else come out. But it's all about timing, man. It's all about knowing where, when, and what to say. Because I say so much sometimes that I, I'll lose track of thought. I'll lose somebody in the conversation, and I choose not to do that. I but I want to help somebody. I want to be clear. I want to be focused on what I'm saying. I'm focused now. I mean, but sometimes when I begin to talk and begin to think about stuff, I get to drifting off now, like I am now. Take me to a place where I start remembering things, and it's like I want to talk about it, and it's like it'll take me somewhere else. Then I'll go somewhere else because I'll be talking about that, because that has something that'll take me somewhere else. That's the issue with me wanting to tell my story and write my book, do my audio book, is because it's so complex. I don't know how to hash it out of my own brain, because my brain won't allow me to. Because I have the type of brain, once I talk about something, that'll that'll bring something else up. Then that'll bring something else up, which will bring something else up.